Hi guys, welcome back to Gardening with Creations by DX & Co. And for me here in Zone 6A, it is still the middle of winter. You may be like me and you're already starting to see seeds being put out in stores. As you can see, gardening is happening in full bloom here. Got our seed starters. So exciting to see it get started. And they're starting to put out our seed variety. Flowers. Looks like we've got quite a bit of herbs, more flowers. And then what everybody loves to see are vegetables and fruits. Absolutely exciting time of year here in January that you can see. We're just scrolling through on Facebook or other social media platforms and people asking questions about when do they start their garden? Should they start now? Is it too early to just do seed starting indoors? Or you're seeing people across the globe who are gardening in southern parts of the world or on the other side of the continent where things are different zones, so on and so forth, so they're able to get started. So today we're going to go through a couple of different methods for planting no matter which zone you may be in. So let's get started. Okay, so guys, it's year 2021. It's January for me. Zone 6A, as you saw before, we're in the dead of winter. So there's not much that I can do from a indoor perspective to get my garden going, right? Wrong. So that's what I want to talk about today, guys. Today, January, is the perfect month, not only for your New Year's resolutions, but really more importantly, what is a resolution? It's a goal. So it's about goals and planning. That's what January is for the month of gardening. January, February, whichever month you choose. The point is that you choose to take the time now to do it. So for starters, you may be a senior master gardener. You may be brand new to gardening, just happened last year, took it on as a project for COVID. You may be looking to start a small garden or a patio garden this year. Or you may just very well be just looking to expand your garden. So those are some different things that we need to think about in the month of January or February for this time of year, regardless of which zone you're in. You may be thinking back to what you did last year. You may be thinking, I planted this, what worked, what didn't. So let's talk about a couple of those things for starters. So for starters, you may be like me. You may save all your seeds from last year and go through your seed packets and write down specifically what you're going to grow this year. How are you going to grow that this year? Are you going to do an in-ground garden bed? What type of vegetables and or fruits, flowers, plants are you going to do in that in-ground garden bed? Does it get enough sunlight? Did you track that through the year, last year or this year? So far this year, are you watching for where the sun hits your house and casts shades? You may be thinking about doing a patio garden, a container garden, like this type of container garden here. You may be thinking about doing your own built raised beds. I'll link a video below on how to do a raised bed that's a good height, so that way you can maybe think about building a raised bed this year or this season, low cost, something like that, that's going to last you a while. You may be thinking about doing a giant garden to feed you and the neighborhood. All of these things may be something that you're thinking about, but step one needs to come with planning. So let's talk a little bit more about planning. So for starters, understand what season your crops need to go in. Are you planning on doing lettuces? Are you planning on doing, different vegetables like tomatoes or carrots or garlic, onion, potatoes perhaps. So you need to know what season those start with. So lettuces, for example, your romaine lettuce, your iceberg lettuce, your cabbages, so on and so forth, those are very cold hardy crops. Kale, things like that. You can start those in early spring. You can start those as soon as March in some zones. You can start those even in early April and other zones. Really depends on that. What I would really recommend to you, and I'll link that in the description for you guys below, is take a look at the Farmer's Almanac website for your area. Not only can you identify which zone you're in, like I'm in zone 6A, what that means is my zone can tolerate, I can start at a certain time period and my season ends, quote unquote, at a different time period. And all of that can generally be found in the Farmer's Almanac. Remember, that is not a be-all end-all. Nobody controls Mother Nature. Nobody understands the weather. But it'll give you a rough estimate that I know that mid-May I can start to put some crops in the ground. But this year we had a late frost and it actually kind of went into June 2020. So you have to be careful with that. You may lose some crops, but there's tips and tricks that you can learn to cover them up when you know a frost is coming. You'll notice you start paying attention to the weather a lot more with gardening. An in-ground bed is definitely warmer than a container garden. But the benefit to a container garden is you can bring those into the garage or inside your apartment overnight, and then put them back out the next day when you know there's frost coming. So all of these things are important to plan ahead, to think about what you can do. Maybe you're doing a balcony garden because you have a small apartment. Understand what kind of space you have. Are you going to do 5-gallon buckets with holes in the sides? I've got a great video you can check out how to do that. There's a lot of things that you can do to make sure that you get the appropriate thing for you. Some of the things that may not work out for you is there may be crops that are just not hardy in your area. There may be vegetables, fruits that you think you're going to eat and you don't end up liking. I've done eggplant 2 years in a row now, and I don't know why, because I don't like eggplant. But a neighbor gave them to me, so I grew them out because I enjoy growing things. I thought I'd give them another try. I tried them a different way. I just don't like eggplant. I'm sorry for all you guys out there who do. So there's a lot that goes into it. And we're going to talk more about actually mapping out your garden, and I'll show you some tips and tricks on how to do that in a future video. But I wanted to get started with you guys today just to say there are things that you can do right now at this time and to get started with planting your garden, and that is actually thinking about and researching your crops. Look up some great videos online on different crops and how to grow them, what time of year to grow them. Are they right for you? Understand what it is that you're looking to grow and when it should go in. What type of crop is it? Is it a cold hardy crop? Tomatoes are not a cold hardy crop. A frost will kill them. So it is great to get tomatoes started early indoors. I would say probably April, May for my zone, to get beginning of mid-April, start those tomato plants with hopes to getting them out into the garden, hardening them off. We'll go through that as well. But hopes to get them hardened off and out and planted by May, mid-May to late May. Usually they say Labor Day is a great time, right? Memorial Day, excuse me, not Labor Day. So just some things to get started on, guys. Look through your seed packets. Is there anything missing? Is there any shopping that you need to do that you want to go get? For me, I think I have almost everything that I need this year. Probably get some more greens, some lettuces, kales, arugula is another thing we love around here. But I've got a bearded dragon. I really want to look for dandelion seeds and try to actually grow some dandelions this year. I've got some marigolds because I absolutely think marigolds are a wonderful touch to gardens, and they have great benefits for deterring pests, so on and so forth. So understand what it is, what type of bed are you going to do, meaning the area that you're going to grow in. Do you have enough soil? What kind of soil are you going to use? What landscaping company are you going to go to source your soil compost mix if you're going to do that route. You can also go to, are you going to go to a major retail store like a Home Depot or a Lowe's and buy your plants that are already started, which you can do. So what I would absolutely press upon you guys is there's a lot that goes into the planning, and we'll talk more about it in a future video, but I want you guys to just start thinking about, yes, the answer is yes, you can get excited about gardening right now in January, February. You can get started at this time, but it starts with, you know, what do you want out of your garden this year? That's the question you need to ask yourself. So take some time, guys, think about it. Have you already started mapping it? I'd love to see some comments below on what you guys are doing for your planning so far. Love to see your ideas and what's going into your garden. Are you doing a perennial garden, meaning crops that are going to last all year, whether those be flowers and or asparagus, things like that that are going to come up year after year? Are you doing an annual garden, meaning you're just going to plant some stuff? Maybe you're going to collect seeds this year. Maybe that's your goal. Maybe your plan is to not buy any vegetables whatsoever from the grocery store all summer long, all season long, growing season long. Maybe that's your plan for this year. Maybe your plan is just to grow something for the first time, because that can be just as rewarding, and anybody who tells you differently is a liar, or lying to themselves, excuse me. But I really feel like that this is the time to really understand question one: what are you planning on getting out of your garden this year? And as always, guys, I hope you guys are staying safe and enjoying your gardens. Sorry for the rant, but we'll be doing more of these, and I'll get into some more details on how I plan my garden every year. And I'll even tell you some upcoming plans that I have for the garden. I spoke about them a little bit last year, but I have some plans to expand my garden this year, and we'll see how it goes. You know, financially, we'll see if it works out, but hopefully in the long run, we'll get the garden of my dreams in the future. So if you guys bear with me, stick with me, like this video, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss that future content to come. As always, guys, appreciate you watching.